You have been lied to since the moment you took your first breath. You were taught that the world is a school, a place of learning created by a loving Father. But deep down, in the silence of your darkest nights, you have felt the glitch. You have sensed that this reality is not a classroom, but a containment system. The ancient Gnostic texts, buried in the sands of Egypt for nearly 2,000 years, tell a story that the church tried to burn. They reveal that the God of this world, the entity worshipped by billions, is not the true creator. He is a blind jailer. This entity built the cosmos not to liberate spirit, but to trap it in matter. He created a labyrinth of 7 heavens to keep your soul recycling through endless lifetimes of suffering and amnesia. But there is a signal from beyond the walls. The true source, the monad, the ineffable and alien God of pure light who exists outside this matrix, did not abandon us. This is the secret mission of the figure known as Jesus. In the Gnostic tradition, he was not a human sacrifice sent to appease an angry deity. He was a messenger from the monad, an intruder from the pleroma, who entered the simulation to break the code. He came to give us the Gnosis, the secret knowledge required to navigate the arcanic checkpoints and return home. The path he revealed does not lead to the heaven you were promised, because that heaven is just another layer of the cage. The true path leads out. It leads beyond the stars, beyond the creator of this world, and into the silence of the 13th Aeon. Before we descend into the labyrinth, signal your presence. If you have ever felt this glitch in your own life, like this video, let the algorithm know that the sleepers are finally waking up. Part 1. The Blind Architect of Reality. To understand the escape, you must first understand the jailer. In the secret book of John and other forbidden gospels, the Gnostics describe a cosmic tragedy that occurred before the dawn of humanity. Wisdom, or Sophia, an eon from the true divine realm, made a mistake. In a moment of passion and confusion, she attempted to create without her masculine counterpart. The result was not a being of light, but a monstrosity, a lion-faced serpent with eyes of flashing fire. His name is Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, the craftsman. Horrified by her creation, Sophia cast him out of the pleroma, the realm of fullness, and into the dark void. Isolated and insane, Yaldabaoth did not know his mother. He did not know the monad. He looked around the empty void and saw only himself. In his madness, he declared, "I am God, and there is no other God beside me." He was not evil by nature. He was ignorant. But his ignorance became the blueprint of our reality. The Demiurge stole a spark of divine power from his mother and used it to animate matter. He built the material universe as a pale, distorted reflection of the eternal realm. This is why our world is defined by entropy, decay, and predation. It is a flawed copy. Every law of physics, every constraint of biology, is a bar in the cell he constructed. He wants to be worshipped. He demands sacrifice. He craves obedience. When you look at the structure of nature, where life must kill life to survive, you are seeing the mind of Yaldabaoth. He created a system that feeds on itself, a closed loop of energy that ensures no spark ever escapes his dominion. He is the God of this world mentioned in Scripture, the jealous deity who punishes knowledge, and his greatest trick was convincing humanity that he is the only option. Part 2. Navigating the 7 Arcanic Gates. The Demiurge did not work alone. To maintain control over the divine sparks trapped in human bodies, he created 7 rulers, or Archons. Collectively known as the Hebdomad, these are the wardens of the cosmic prison. In ancient cosmology, these Archons correspond to the 7 classical planets: the Moon, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. But you must stop thinking of these as mere rocks floating in space. In the Gnostic map, they are vast, intelligent, psychological atmospheres, spiritual filters, designed to strip the soul of its memory and power. They are not just places, they are forces that live inside you. When a soul descends from the eternal realm into a body, it must pass through these 7 spheres. At each layer, the Archons clothe the soul in a different garment of limitation. These garments are what you mistakenly call your personality. The first gate is ruled by the moon. Here, the soul is infected with the irrational drive for biological growth and reproduction. It is the realm of sleepwalking consciousness, where the divine spark is dulled by the heavy, watery nature of the body. It creates the illusion that you are your body. Next is Mercury. This Archon bestows the spirit of calculation, cunning, and restless intellect. It is the trap of the monkey mind, the voice in your head that never stops talking, analyzing, and labeling, yet never truly knows. It substitutes wisdom with data, keeping you distracted with endless information so you never look inward. The third layer is Venus. This is the garment of desire. It is not just sexual lust, but the profound, aching sense of lack. It tricks the soul into believing that happiness can be found in external objects, people, or sensations. It chains the infinite spirit to the finite world through the bonds of emotional attachment. Then comes the Sunday. In the visible world, the sun gives light, but in the Gnostic view, this Archon installs the false king, the ego. This is the garment of pride, ambition, and the hunger for recognition. It creates the illusion of a separate I that demands to be special, to be seen, and to be worshipped by others. It is the ultimate distraction from the true self. Ascending further, we hit the red filter of Mars. This Archon imposes the vibration of conflict, anger, and separation. It fuels the us versus them mentality. Every time you feel righteous indignation or hatred, you are being manipulated by this layer. It keeps humanity divided and fighting, generating the negative emotional energy that the Archons feed upon. Pause for a moment. Look inward. Which Archon holds the leash on your mind? Is it the anger of Mars, the pride of the sun, or the fear of Saturn? Declare your enemy in the comments below. Naming the cage is the first step to breaking it. The 6th gate is Jupiter. Often seen as benevolent, this Archon is actually the trap of benevolent tyranny. It represents the desire for power, accumulation, and wealth. It convinces the soul that success in the material simulation is the ultimate goal. It binds you with golden chains, making the prison so comfortable that you no longer wish to escape. Finally, the soul encounters Saturn, often associated with Kronos or the Demiurge himself. This is the gate of time, restriction, and death. Saturn imposes the ultimate illusion that you are a mortal being running out of time. It is the realm of fear, melancholy, and the crushing weight of karma. The brilliance of this trap is terrifying. The Archons use these layers to harvest energy. When you are lost in lust, Venus, consumed by anger, Mars, or paralyzed by the fear of death, Saturn, you are feeding the Archons of the corresponding spheres. You are powering the very machinery that keeps you enslaved. And the ultimate purpose of this system is revealed at death. When the body dies, the soul attempts to ascend back to the source, but it must pass back through these 7 gates. At each gate, the Archon stands guard, demanding a toll. If the soul is still attached to the vices of that sphere, if it still craves power, or is still bound by hate, it cannot pass. It is repelled, caught in the net, and sent back down to earth to be reincarnated. This is the wheel of samsara. The seven heavens are not the stairway to God. They are a cosmic filtration system designed to ensure that nothing leaves. Part 3. The Trap of the False Light. The most dangerous moment of your entire existence is not when you are born, but when you die. For millennia, religions have conditioned you to expect a savior, a tunnel of light, and a reunion with your loved ones. The Gnostics warn that this expectation is the final and most sophisticated lock on the prison door. When the physical body expires, the soul is ejected from the organic shell. Suddenly, the weight of gravity, pain, and time vanishes. You feel an immense sense of relief. And then it appears. A dazzling, magnetic, overwhelming white light. It radiates a feeling of unconditional love, peace, and acceptance, a feeling more intense than anything you experienced on earth. This is the false light. In the Gnostic texts, particularly the Pistis Sophia and the Apocalypse of Paul, we are warned that the Archons are shapeshifters. They know your memories. They know your deepest emotional attachments. When you enter that tunnel of light, you are not met by the true God. You are met by holographic projections generated by the Demiurge's system. You might see Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, or simply your grandmother who passed away years ago. They will smile. They will extend their hands. They will tell you, "Welcome home. Your work is done." But this home is a holding area within the lower heavens. It is the astral intake facility of the recycling plant. If you follow them into the light, you are subjected to the Life Review, Modern Near-Death Experience, NDE. Researchers often describe this as a panoramic 360-degree replay of your life. You feel every pain you inflicted on others. You experience your mistakes viscerally. The beings of light standing beside you do not judge you. They don't have to. They manipulate you into judging yourself. They use your own empathy against you. They will point to your unfinished business. They will say, "Look at the pain you caused. Look at the lessons you failed to learn. You are not ready to move on. You must go back to balance your karma. You must try again." This is the great deception of karma. In the Gnostic view, karma is not a divine law of justice. It is an archonic debt system designed to keep you insolvent. There is no end to the debt because the system is rigged. By accepting your guilt and agreeing to return to learn more lessons, you sign a new soul contract. You agree to have your memory wiped, the cup of forgetfulness, and to be thrown back into a biological body to suffer, generate energy, and die again. The light is a lure. Just as a deep-sea anglerfish uses a glowing lure to attract prey in the darkness, the Demiurge uses the tunnel of light to capture escaping souls. It exploits your fear of the unknown and your attachment to the familiar. It weaponizes love to enforce slavery. Most souls, conditioned by religious programming and emotional attachment, fly straight into the light like a moth to a flame. They are harvested. They are recycled. They return to earth with no memory, wondering why they feel a deep, inexplicable emptiness, unaware that they have walked this same circle 1,000 times before. But the Gnostic initiate prepares for this moment. The initiate knows that the true path is not toward the dazzling white light of the simulation, but away from it. To escape, one must have the courage to turn their back on the projection of heaven and face the void of deep space. One must reject a life review, not out of arrogance, but out of the realization that the judges have no jurisdiction over a divine spark. You do not owe the Archons anything. You paid for your existence with your suffering. The debt is canceled the moment you realize the banker is a fraud. Part 4. Crossing the Abyss to the Ogdoad. If you turn away from the tunnel of light, you will face the terror of the void. This is the test of sovereignty. You will find yourself in the vast, starry darkness of the mental universe. But you are not alone. As you attempt to ascend past the 7 planetary spheres, the wardens will descend to block your path. The ancient Gnostic texts are surprisingly technical about this phase. They describe it almost like hacking a computer system. To pass the Archons, you must possess the seals or passwords. These are not literal spoken words, but states of vibration and declarations of intent. You must prove to the Guardians that you are not of their world and that they have no power to detain you. When the Archon of Fear approaches, you must vibrate with absolute courage. When the Archon of Pride approaches, you must be transparent, having shed the ego. You must declare your origin. In the Gospel of Mary, the soul answers the interrogator, "I am a being of light, stripped of the lower garments. I come from the pre-existent one, and I return to my own place. You cannot hold me." This is the shedding of the garments we discussed earlier. As you rise past the moon, you surrender your biological impulses. Passing Mercury, you surrender the linear mind. Passing Venus, you drop your desires. Passing the Sun, you discard the need to be someone. Passing Mars, you release all conflict. Passing Jupiter, you abandon the lust for power. And finally, at the gate of Saturn, you surrender the illusion of time itself. You are stripping naked. You are losing everything that you thought was you. Your name, your race, your history, your personality. To the unawakened, this feels like annihilation. It feels like death. But to the Gnostic, it is the ultimate liberation. It is the statue breaking out of the stone. Once you pierce the final veil of the 7th heaven, the limit of the Demiurge's creation, you cross the abyss. The noise of the simulation stops. The chaotic static of the material and astral worlds falls silent. You enter the Ogdoad. The Ogdoad is the 8th sphere. It is the transition zone between the matrix and the pleroma. It is the realm of Sophia, the wisdom that fell and has now been restored. Here, the light is not the blinding, burning white fire of the Demiurge. It is a soft, living, golden radiance. It does not demand, it does not judge, it sustains. In the Ogdoad, you are reunited with your higher self, the part of you that never descended into matter, the twin angel mentioned in Sufism and Gnosticism. You remember who you are. You look back at the 7 heavens below the swirling, chaotic machinery of the solar system, and you see it for what it is, a tiny, contained bubble floating in an infinite ocean. You realize that the god you feared was just a petty landlord of a small, dark room. This is the station of rest, but it is not the end. The Ogdoad is where the soul is purified of the last residues of the simulation. It is where you regain your spiritual gravity. Many souls choose to stay here for eons, basking in the freedom of the 8th sphere. But for those who seek the ultimate truth, there is one final journey to make. The Ogdoad is merely the porch of the true house. The door to the absolute is still ahead. Final chapter, return to the source. Beyond the Ogdoad lies the 13th Aeon. This is the realm of the unknown father, the monad, the alien god. Language fails here. The Gnostics describe this not as a place, but as a frequency of silence. It is the pleroma, the fullness. To enter the 13th aeon is to dissolve the drop back into the ocean. Yet somehow, miraculously, the drop knows it is the ocean. Here, there is no subject and object. There is no worshipper and God. There is only being. You are no longer a fragment struggling to survive. You are the totality. You are the uncreated light that existed before the Demiurge dreamt his nightmare of matter. You are the silence before the Big Bang. Reaching this state is the ultimate victory of the spirit. It renders the entire drama of the physical universe, the wars, the suffering, the reincarnations null and void. It is the awakening from the dream. But you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still reading these words on a screen composed of liquid crystals trapped in a body of meat and bone. Why? Because Gnosis is not just information for the afterlife. It is a weapon for the now. Knowing the map changes how you walk the territory. When you realize the world is a stage play directed by a madman, you stop taking the drama so seriously. You stop feeding the Archons your fear and your anger. You become a living glitch in the matrix. You are in the world, but not of it. You walk through the fire, but you do not burn. The exit door is hidden inside you. The kingdom of heaven is not in the sky. It is in the center of your own awareness, buried under layers of archonic noise. Do not wait for death to begin your ascent. Begin today. Observe your thoughts. Are they yours, or are they transmissions from the moon? Observe your desires. Are they yours, or are they programs from Venus? Consider this your final activation code. You are not a solitary error in the system. You are part of what the ancient texts call the immovable race, the pneumatics, those who possess the spark that cannot be intoxicated by the world's illusions. You are a sleeper agent operating behind enemy lines. Every time you choose silence over reaction, every time you choose discernment over blind emotion, you are hacking the archonic code. You are creating a glitch in the simulation. This is not a passive waiting game. It is an active rebellion of the spirit. Your very awareness is a torch in the void, a beacon for others who are also beginning to stir from their slumber. The Demiurge relies on your forgetfulness, but your memory is returning. Hold fast to this frequency. Do not let the noise of the world drown out the silence of your origin. Carry this Gnosis not as a burden, but as a secret key. The prison has no walls, only habits. The lock has no key, only ignorance. Wake up. The 13th aeon is waiting. 2, aeon, 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 If this transmission resonated with your spark, do not lose this frequency. Subscribe and join the immovable race. We have more codes to break. Welcome home.